everybody, my name is Cheri. Welcome to my stamp studio. Today I'm going to do the third stamp set. If you've been watching my channel this week, I'm having an online retreat. It's coming up. It's a mini retreat, and I will be sending this stuff out. I have jury summons, so that's one of the reasons it's a mini retreat, in case I get called, and it's also kind of affecting the date. So my goal is like the 7th to the 10th of March, and if I get called to serve on a jury, that could affect it. Hopefully, you know, fingers crossed. I'd like to do my civic duty, but I also need to work, so nobody's here to do my job if I get called. So, but that's up and coming. Registration's open through the 25th of February, so you have a few more days to register. It's the focus of the retreat, and I'll show you the two cards that I've done. We're going to use embossing paste. I am going to be focusing on 3 sets. You don't have to use the 3 sets, although you can get different packages for the retreat, and you can get the stamp sets. You can get 2 of them, or you can get all 3. If you get all 3, you get a bonus, or you can just get the videos, or you can just get the card supplies. But we're going to use embossing paste. On the card I'm going to use today, I'm not going to, because I already have in my head what I want to do with this stamp, and I couldn't think of anything else with the embossing paste without doing that, and I want to save it for retreat. But I'll show you the others, and then you do get embossing paste and the palette tools as part of the retreat as well. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's like we'll learn stuff. I don't want to say it's easy. You will learn something. But if you're a newer stamper, you don't need a cut and emboss machine. Anything that I am going to die cut that will be punched out, or will have a folder, will come to you already done, as long as you get one of the mailed packets. So we're going to use Silly Goose. This is the one that I posted yesterday, and it has I used the embossing paste to give her kind of some feathers. I used the fine shimmer paper on her. I'm going to use it again today on this card. So Silly Goose is one of your choices, or anything that is similar-ish, you'll be able to make work. You don't have to use the stamp sets that I have if you have something similar. It's just the ones I'm using. Then the other one, I love this set, and there hasn't been anything that we've had where you put faces on your food, but you may have something that is similar, and you'll be able to substitute sets within the retreat too. Like you could use Silly Goose and make something similar, but here we use the embossing paste on the back with a stencil. So that is Taco Fiesta. And then for this one, I'm going to use Best Day. I love this stamp set, and obviously in class we will use the embossing paste to frost our cake. Today I'm just going to color it. And the other thing that I have done is I'm not going to tell you how to color your images on the cards. Now, I will color the images on all 6 cards. You'll get the supplies to make the 6 cards, the cardstocks, anything I've punched, any embellishments, any ribbons, any die cuts, any designer series paper to complete your projects. But then I'm going to leave it up to you. How do you color them in? This one I used blends, and I will use all of the methods, and I will give you other suggestions maybe. If I, like on this one, yesterday I used watercolor pencils and a blender pen. This is blends, and today I'm going to use an ink pad and a Stella. So what I use on one stamp, I may give you another idea how to use something else. I don't want to tie you into the coloring because we're using the paste, and these are all line art stamps, and they can all be used, you can just mix and match the colors. And I also don't want you to think I have to have these ink pad colors, because you don't. And I'm going to show you kind of that today on this one. So this obviously has the cat, and I find so many times people are like, I don't need a cat set when I do these classes, and because that's often what your face is drawn to when you look at the catalog or you look online at stamp sets. If you take this out, it's a birthday set. I love cats. If you follow my channel, you know I'm a cat person. But if you don't want the cat, you can easily make this a cupcake. It doesn't have to be a cat. And in fact, in class, I'll try to make it just a cupcake without the cat. But I love the cat, so we may use the cat as well. I may give you the option of an either or. We'll do 6 projects, 2 each. So there's already 2 images. But I love this, and I'm going to use it on today's card. It's the best day because it's your birthday. These sets, all 3 of them, have great sentiments. So let's get going on today's card. So I'll show you my mess up at the end, and it's not really a mess up. I just didn't love it, and so I started over. But I'm going to show you what I didn't use at the end. So this is how I started. I had the pastel adhesive backed sequins on my table because I keep my things in these. And the reason I keep them in these is because my cats often hop up here to join me, and their cat hair can get stuck on these if I don't keep them in something. And so I had these out and I was putting everything back, and I thought, oh, well, these will be really pretty with that cake. So they're Bashful Balmy Blue. I don't even think we have Bashful Blue anymore. That's a blast from the past. And then this was Petal Pink. And then this was gold. And then I showed you that yesterday we used the freesia. It's not even yesterday. It's the same day, but I'm posting. And maybe it won't be yesterday. I never know when I post these when it's going to be. And then this is the fine gold shimmer paper, and the freesia is in with it. So I thought this would be pretty together. I couldn't get the pink the way I liked it. So I took the pink off and I started over. So I wasted a whole little piece of this and my time, but that's okay because the card, that as it ended up, I really liked. So this doesn't take any special supplies. So again, if you are new to stamping, this can be right up your alley. Let's start with the birthday cake, and we're gonna stamp it twice. Also, because I switched it up, I was kind of able to move around what I wanted to do to it. So I'm going to stamp in Memento. This is a red rubber stamp. If you have stays on, you'll be able to skip a step here, because you do need to heat set it on this gold paper, or just stamp it and then come back and color it in tomorrow, because it takes a really long time for it to dry on this. So make sure that you've stamped it really well. You can use your Stamparatus, because you don't want to mess this up. You want to make sure that the happy and the plate get stamped well, because you don't want to mess it up. So we're good, because we need the happy and the plate. The cake and the birthday, we are going to cut out from something else. So you can see them over here. And I don't need all of this. That's why I have my scrap paper. And so at this time, I'm not gonna even ink the happy again. I'm just going to ink the little banner and the plate, because this is shimmer white. And let's go right here, because you don't want to waste more shimmer white than you need. So now we have the two pieces that we're going to color and cut out. And then I have a piece of the Balmy Blue. And I'm going to get my words. And again, it says it's the best day because it's your birthday. I'm going to stamp it down here at the bottom. I always like to do my words before I mount them on anything. That way, if you stamp them and they're smeary or they don't look good, you can flip it over. And that was okay, but, well, it's not okay because it got the ink from that on it, see? But you can always stamp it again, which I don't need to. I probably messed up that one. It did get a little bit of black on it, but it's okay. But always do, I'm not done. And then this set has some sparklers. And the first time I did it, because I stamped this in the middle, there was no place to put the sparklers. And I love these sparklers. But the second time, I'm like, I'm gonna move these down, and then that gives me a place to put sparklers. So if you use your stays on, you're good. You could, after I found out it wasn't going to dry, and I found that out because I touched it, but you can just set it aside and let it dry for a while. I don't know how long exactly it would take. If you have a heat tool or a heat gun, your hair dryer might work if you can get it high enough. We used to always say that hair dryers didn't work, but now some hair dryers I know get super high. So you just need to dry it. So I'm just going to take a second and heat set this and dry it. Okay, and that was literally just a few seconds. So then what you want to do is, you can see right here on my H, it's kind of where the ink was thickest on my stamp. So hopefully you can see where that's got like the thickest bit of ink. So again, straight up, straight down on your finger. And now it's dry. If it wasn't dry when I tested it the first time, I tested it like this, and I had a complete H and A on my hand. So that's dry now. But it would dry. It would take a while. a good while for it to dry. It's not going to do it in a matter of minutes, but if you don't have anything to hasten the speeding along, you could probably set it like on your toaster, put it someplace warm. Don't stick it in your microwave because that paper's got some metallic on it. Now we are going to color this in. I went from using the petal pink because this is pinker, and I had also used some polished pink to kind of make it that pink. I didn't like it. So I got smoky slate. There's no gray in this. We have gold, but the paper was already gold. So I thought, well, I'll just kind of give it some highlights. And then I liked the way the smoky slate looked. So I just went with, and then I thought, well, I could have had a chocolate cake. I'm not really sure what a silver cake flavor is, but it's very pretty. And for the next video I have coming up, it's a black and white sepia kind of thing. So I think my mind was kind of already going there anyway. So this is our Wink of Stella. And you always start on one end over here and then pull your color over. And it's so sparkly. It would already be sparkly anyways because the paper is sparkly. This just makes it really pretty. It's a very, 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 very pretty technique, and it's so fun to do. You could also take the happy birthday off and put the sparklers on top and make it into a wedding card if you just want to use the cake for a wedding cake. Find out the colors of the wedding, and then just cut that part off and add the sparklers onto the top, because we are going to cut this off and mount it over the top. So I'm going to pull this gray about halfway across, and see, it's easy. You don't have to really worry about it. I'm going to add my blue on in a second. Once I get about halfway here, I'm going to stop pulling in so much of the gray and kind of, or smoky slate, and kind of let it fade. That'll give some nice shading without really having to do much work. And some of the little circles I've gone over the top with because the smoky slate's kind of a light color and the blue will cover it up. So got that. Go over here. And then I want my happy and my platter to kind of pop off the page. So I'm just going to color these as well. Now again, it dries faster than the ink. The Wink of Stella on here. But it will take a minute to dry. So just be careful, just don't touch it. Which is easy to do because you're not going to do anything else to this piece of paper other than stick your cake on the top. Got that. I hope you can see how sparkly it is. It's so pretty. That looks pretty good. And the Wink of Stella has a gold tinge to it. So even though I'm mixing it with the smoky slate, which it has a silver, obviously, tinge to it, once you layer it on this gold paper, then it kind of just has a happy metallic. And when you go one direction, it looks more silver. And when you go the other direction, it looks gold. And then just kind of clean my brush up here instead of just wasting the beautiful Stella that's in there. I'm just going to clean it off over here on the cake. And then I'm going to grab my balmy blue. And again, to get your color on the lid, there's two ways. You can just take your refill and put a drip in the middle of the lid if you have a hard time squishing this, or you can push. You have to push pretty hard. After you've done it a few times on your ink pads, they get easier and easier. And then you have this little bit of ink in here that you can work with. You want to make sure that your Stella has some of its fluid coming down. So super sparkly. It's very, very pretty. Got that. Then I'm going to come over here to this, and again, to just kind of clean up my brush. You want to make sure that there's not too much fluid coming out of it. And my Stella's pretty juicy. This is a good one. I'm just going to go a little bit over best day, and your birthday. And you want to make sure that you let this dry a second, because if you do it as soon as you stamp it, it might smear. It shouldn't smear. You can see nothing has smeared, but because that's a lot of ink, if you do it right away, then it could smear. So let's put all this stuff up now. So now you want to make sure that this has a second to just dry. That'll dry almost instantly. And then you're going to cut this out. You need to cut the cake and the banner. You don't need the platter because we want that platter there. I'll do that and then fast forward that out. All right, we have basic gray cardstock now that will be our card back. So let's fold this in half. And then we're going to take some of our gold satin ribbon. This is in the annual catalog. Now, if you're interested in the retreat, you can look underneath the video. There will be the link. It will be on Facebook. The best place to always have all the information is to be on my email list. And you can join that from my Facebook page or from my blog. Or you can message me and I'll send you the link. Or if you join my team, which right now, still in February, Stampin' Up! Has a great sign-up special. And my team members get all of the video portions of all of my classes and my card club videos and my VIP videos. They get all of that. I put all of the video tutorials on our team Facebook page. So they get all of them for free. So you can get all of the retreat videos at no cost and get the fabulous starter kit that Stampin' Up! Has right now. So I've just tied that around. It makes the inside of it really pretty. Let me use my bone folder so my card isn't flicking open. Just push that on there. We're also having a demonstrator event in March. So if you sign up, you can come to that. It's a Saturday evening, full day Sunday at a wonderful event center just outside of Indianapolis. So you can come stay and learn all kinds of fun stamping stuff with demonstrators from all around the area. Add this on here. And then you want to be careful because I remember we heat dried that, but the Stella might not be all the way dry. So I'm going to put my adhesive on my card as opposed to putting it on the gold strip. The shimmer paper is just beautiful. And just put this on here. Now when it's all the way dry, I might go back and lift it up and just press that on, but that's pretty good. Now I'm going to use my mini dimensionals because that's the size that I need for my little banner here. So I'm going to add 2 to the banner, which I didn't dry. I didn't heat set that, so we'll hope that I don't touch it. Add that. Peel those off. And it just makes, when you use that Wink of Stella, it just really makes it match that gold shimmer paper so nicely. And then, because I don't want to spend 5 minutes using a bunch of tiny ones, I could get my big ones, but you end up on these little ones with all this spare that's around the edges, and it's just a big piece. So I just used that. You can just stick it right here in the middle, and it's even faster than using 2 or 3 big ones. Now when you put this on, see how the little happy sticks still have parts of their sticks on there. So kind of lay it on here, and that's the other reason I liked using 1 dimensional, because I can kind of line that up, and once they're where they need to go, then push it down, because you want to make sure that those are hitting. And then remember, my color combination was from these, so you want to make sure that you use them. I didn't use the pink. I think you could use the pink if you wanted to, but I really liked just the blue and gold tones with a little hint of gray. And there's 2 sizes, but I just used the smaller ones. So I just used the blue and gold. So gold, and then gold. So I did every other, and there is an even number, which I always tell you guys don't use an even number, but because they're on something that's on here, it looks okay. Because instead of your eye going, oh, there's an even number of embellishments, it's going, oh, those sparklers are adorable. There we go. Super cute. So here's this one. See, I hope you can see the sparkles. Here's my other one. They look pretty much exactly the same. So much fun. I hope you do my retreat. We're going to have a great time. You will learn several ways to use the embossing paste. You can get the stamp sets. You can get 2 of them. You can get all 3 of them. You can substitute what you have. So we will learn embossing techniques, but we will also learn, look, I have a cake on the back of these. I can see it through there. I got distracted for a minute. But we'll learn ways to color. There might be a fun fold or 2. Probably just maybe 1 fun fold. When I'm concentrating on things like embossing paste, then that kind of takes my attention from doing fun folds. But the sign up is through February 25th, and it's all video based. So they'll all have videos. You get the photos of the finished cards at the end. But you'll have a walkthrough tutorial for every card. Have a great one, guys. See you back here later.